All right, let's rock and roll. For those of you wondering, it's not nighttime, and this is live. It's just that's how dreary it is right now in central Pennsylvania. So that's what we're working with. Quick housekeeping items, and then we're going to get right into the topic at hand, which is some breaking news that I am incredibly excited to share. Direct mail integration, LeadDeck to Thanks.io is live, making it as easy as 2 taps to send direct mail to sellers. You can set it up to do buyers as well, but I tend to think that direct mail is best invested into sellers. Before we get into that, I would highly recommend for anyone who missed yesterday, or you want a second look, or you want a review, I took the time to carefully edit and curate the section of yesterday's cafe, specifically critiquing Susan's email and text message to buyers. And I think it's so good that I told Sean this needs to be required viewing for anyone before they can tap to text or email buyers using LeadDeck. So you can go check that out. It's 16 minutes. And it will help you get exponentially more replies to your texts and emails when you're reaching out to active investor buyers, whether they're cash buyers, landlord buyers, multifamily, or vacant land buyers. And also the principles in there will help you just generally speaking with your email marketing. So check that out if you missed it. And even if you were live, it's a more clear and concise version of the live, which includes a good deal of my ramblings. I'm going to share my screen and we'll get right into it. As of now, you can directly integrate a Thanks.io direct mail account with LeadDeck such that when you're on your phone, it works on your laptop or desktop as well. But most of the time, for me anyway, when I'm actually doing my cold outreach, I am tapping on my phone. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show what it would look like on your phone. I'm going to grab one that I actually want to send to. And then I'll go back to my screen share and I'll show what's happening. So moving forward, and then I'll take it all the way back to the start. What do you need to do to set up the integration? Let me also say, before I even get to that point, if you need help with any of this, just ask. The Thanks team is on board, ready to go to help with anything on their end. And obviously, we will help with anything on our end. But it's literally you copy and paste, you create a direct mail list, and you're ready to go. All that said, we'll help if any of that becomes unclear or confusing for anyone. I'm going to pull up a deck that I was working earlier this week. It's 4 properties, multifamily properties in Perry County, PA. And I, earlier in the week, before the integration existed, I was tapping to call and text and email. I have not heard back from this one. So right here, green mail postcard. I tap the green mail postcard. It says, so Stuart, it'll confirm before you push it that the naming structure is right. And even if it's not, I'll show you how you can edit it after the fact. So you could still push it to make it simple and easy. And then if for some reason you realize, oh, I don't know that was right, I'll show you how you can edit it even after you tap to send it. but it will confirm the recipient, the address. So this is the mailing address because this is an absentee-owned property. The mailing address is Florence, Indiana, and the property address for the multifamily is this. I'm going to then, I lied. It's 3 taps, maybe 4. I'm sorry. You have to choose a mailing list. Best practice, I believe at this point, is you're going to need at least 2 mailing lists. One, if you're sending mail to an owner-occupant. One, if you're sending mail to an absentee owner. You can get fancier than that if you choose at some point. But you want those 2, and I'll explain why as we go through and I show what they look like. It relates to what we're merging in. So the letter that I'm sending, I want the letter to say, would you consider selling your property at this address? But I want it to be sent to the mailing address. Okay. So this is an absentee owner. I'm going to select my absentee owner. I don't know why I put multifamily. I guess I made another one. So I chose my list and now I tap to add to list. Voila. I'm probably going to have him change postcard because I'm not sending a postcard. Well, I am, but that's not the first thing that I'm sending. So I think we're going to say direct mail or something because you can send whatever you want. What happens when I tap is they get added to a mailing list. Let me get this out of the way here. So let me refresh here. Well, the API is a little delayed. But this is one I added yesterday using the exact same process. So you can see the naming is correct. This is their mailing address. And this is the absentee property address. So that's the actual property. This is where their tax bills are being sent. Once they're on a mailing list, the way we set up the automation for the direct mail to go out is you need a campaign. I'm going to say, again, I'm going to say this multiple times. If any of this is confusing or any of this you get stuck, there's a whole team of people ready, willing, and able to help with this. Okay. And also, once you set it up once, you can set it. It's set it and forget it. Now, you may not want to forget about it because, you may want to tweak, may want to add something, whatever. But it's not something that you constantly have to do. Once it's set up, you can literally just tap and send the direct mail. What I am sending to these folks, at least currently, looks like this. So this is my absentee owner multifamily campaign. And what I'm sending is a windowless letter that looks like this. Hi, Timothy. Is there any chance you'd consider selling your property at 51 East Main Street to a private client of ours? Notice it's not the full address. It's just the street address. 51 East Main Street is the 2 unit that they own in New Bloomfield. But this is being mailed to, I can't remember. I think this one had a California address, maybe. I think the API runs on like a 5-minute cycle or something like that. So we'll see. I'll continue to refresh to see that. Oh no, Pasadena, Maryland. I read Pasadena, and I was thinking we were going to the Rose Bowl, but it was Pasadena, Maryland. So it might be lovely there as well. No judgment if you're in Pasadena, Maryland. So that will go out. And the way the campaigns work is the soonest you can set it up is 1 day later. Meaning, if I tap to add someone today, that letter will go out tomorrow. Which also means, you can panic, abort, whatever. You have a window of time if for some reason you don't want that to happen, okay? If after the fact, you're like, I don't think the naming is right on that. It looks like it's last name, first name instead of first name, last name. You can edit right here and edit the information. And if I just wanted it to go to Timothy, I didn't want Michelle to be referenced or whatever, or I didn't want the middle initial, because I think the one that I just fed in had a middle initial. Okay, so how do we, well, actually, any questions on that? Well, hold on, two things, and then questions, and then I'll show for those who are interested and the DIYers in the group what you can do to set it up. I will drop this document. Go ahead, sorry.
Well, in the letter it said Timothy's, but when you went into their contact record, it had both of their full names.
Yeah,
so
that's a good question.
How did that end up?
That is because I am merging first name one.
Oh, so it automatically grabbed his first name.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I think that's fine. I think that's fine. I don't, if you try and make it so that you merge both names in, it could make it funky. So it's grabbing the first name listed on title and merging that in, because the template, actually, so that's what I was going to share next, is I have all of these templates that any of you can swipe and deploy. If you don't currently have a Thanks account and you use this account, I believe Ryan has it set up that it will populate with all of my templates in there for you. If that doesn't happen, again, any of this, we will be more than happy, either them or us or combination of both, will be happy to connect all the dots here for you. You don't have to know how to do any of this. All you'll need to know is, I'd like this, and this is what I would like to send, and we'll make it so all you have to do is tap. That said, these are all the templates that I have collected and curated and that I'm using and are working to some degree for me. And when I was addressing James's question, this is the template I made this morning, because in thinking through this, I realized that I need a template for absentee owners and one for owner occupants, because what we're merging is going to be different depending on that. So this is saying, hi, first name. I'm trying to think of where the second first name listed would be. I'll have to get with Ryan on that. I don't know that it's relevant. But I'm curious more than anything. But it'll pull in the first name of the first person on title and merge it in here. And it's merging in the property address and mailing to the mailing address of the recipient. For the owner occupant, this merge would just match the regular address. It would just be one and the same. How do we link this up? Well, that's a good question. Let's go to your profile in LeadDeck. So you go to Profile, tap the mailer, and there are tutorials from Ryan and Sean on how to do that. You have to connect up. You just grab an API code from Thanks and you paste it in. Mine's already connected, but you literally just copy and paste. Any of you using Bold Trail, you may have copied your API code to connect it with Fast Cash Offers, for example, or maybe some other, thing that you were linking up with Bold Trail, or you made the same thing. Most CRM and tools like this have API connection, Zapier codes, etc. So it's as simple as following these two tutorials and linking that up. Again, if you need help with that, we will help you do that. And for example, for those of you current users, if you want direct help with it, the noon demo and Q&A, we could actually do that with you and for you on that one. Once you have it set up, It does not matter what mailing list here, because you will choose that for every specific lead or card, because you can have it be relevant to them. For example, let me unpack a couple of use cases, and then Doreen, I'll let you get to your question. I mentioned I would recommend a minimum of 2 mailing lists. And also at some point, you may want to get more granular so that your communications can better match the situation or the scenario. And this is perfect because Doreen, a couple of weeks ago, shared some direct mail that she has been sending to pre-foreclosures. You can absolutely do that with LeadDeck. You could set up a campaign. You could set up a mailing list for pre-foreclosures and a direct mail campaign that is specific to them. And then you can go and find those leads in here. And if you want to send them direct mail, you can choose that campaign, that mailing list to add them to, which will fire that campaign, which is specific to them. And the more specific our communication is, the more relevant it is, the more responses we tend to get. Mm-hmm. So, for example, this letter this is a little thing, but it can make a big difference between it being received as spam or junk or actually relevant to them. If I would add your multifamily property at street address, that one word, is that one word or 2 words? Whatever. That one phrase makes it more relevant because it tells the recipient that I've done more homework, more research. I've done my due diligence. So I'm not suggesting you should go hog wild and breaking a bunch. I'm suggesting pick one and get that one as relevant, as congruent, etc., as you can. And then you can add another if or when the time is right. Doreen.
So Josh, if I had a Thanks.io account and it was already linked to iList, would I be able to have that functionality through LeadDeck all in one shot?
1,000%.
Okay, perfect.
So let me unpack what Doreen is saying there, and I'll give an example. This is a postcard that I send to a growing audience, a growing mailing list once a month. I just call it my direct mail AI postcard newsletter. Somebody please come up with a better name for it. When they get this postcard, if they scan the QR code, it takes them to their seller dashboard in Fast Cash Offers. You can set that up, and if you want, you could add people from LeadDeck into Thanks and have that your postcard template is set up so that when they scan it, they're taken to their dashboard. And actually, let me show this one I'm sending to anyone that I have their address. But what if I want to send something that is more of a direct call to action? Because this one I view more like insurance, meaning I send these so that people don't forget to reach out to me if or when they or someone they know is thinking about buying, selling, or investing. In LeadDeck, we would be tapping to send direct mail, assuming some level of intent or motivation or distress, let's say. So this, where is it? Do I not have it here? Golden postcard. I do have it here. It's right in front of me. This is probably more along the lines of something I would send that would have that lead deck to thanks to fast cash offers / iList seller dashboard integration. Would you be open to a cash offer on your property at street address?
Josh,
Yes.
this postcard is to people you think have an intent. You know, your insurance postcard to people you have an address for. Does that go somewhere else besides the cash offer?
It goes to their normal seller it goes to the same dashboard that I send my monthly action plan. Like it has their 4 estimates of value. They can adjust the value and they can explore offer options if they choose.
And what platform is that?
The same thing.
Oh, it is. So it is the cash offer.
Yeah, but you can here, I'll show you. I think I can show you. How can I demonstrate this? Let me think here. Campbell, while I'm hunting here, go ahead.
Okay, my question is, I've already got mailbox power specifically because of the gift giving program. I know that thanks.io has gift cards. Have they thought about expanding into the brownies? They don't want to get into that market at all?
Nope.
What does it cost to get their program from the basic to the pro where you get the reasonable price per card?
The business account is $49 a month.
Okay.
And how many mailers do you get for that?
I don't know. There we go. I have no idea. I don't care. I don't know. I don't know. I send so much that I just don't care. But that's a good question. Somewhere I think it would explain here.
I was just trying to help people. I mean, if it's $50 a month, that includes the mailer. So as long as you're sending like,
I forget the break even is if you're sending
one a day, it's break even.
Yeah, I think of it. It's 1 or 50 a month. It becomes break even between what you're saving versus
the free.
Because well, you can't. I don't know that you can do the API connection with the free account. So if you want
I had Ryan hook that up for us.
Oh, okay. So you can use the free account. It's just that your mail pieces will be more per piece.
Yeah, I forget what the break even is, but it's pretty low.
Yeah.
Josh, are you recording 12? I've got to be on with Smarty today at 12.
Yeah.
Are you recording that one?
Yeah, those I would say those I am. I don't know that I would recommend that you would go back and watch those.
Okay.
Those are more for people that aren't using the tool yet and want to see a better demonstration. They are open and welcome to all, but for someone who's been using it for a while, I would say generally speaking.
You've already given my answer. Thank you. I appreciate it, buddy.
You bet. So, Stephanie, when I'm sending an email or I'm sending that postcard and they scan to engage, they won't have to do this login process. Or in a perfect world, they don't. I guess sometimes it whatever doesn't work exactly as prescribed. But when it works correctly, they are immediately taken to this. And by immediately, I mean it takes a couple seconds to load up. But this is their home value dashboard. So it's got values. Joe is working on a fix for this. The image of my property is not here because it will pull the street view, the Google Street View. But if there's no street view, it's not pulling anything, or it's pulling a broken image. What they're adding is it'll show the map view, which Thanks already does that. So on the postcards that have the street view, if there's no street view, Thanks will we'll show an overhead map view. Joe is working on that for this. But this is what they see, and they can explore instant offers here. However, if you've got the marketing suite, you can send people directly to their cash offer portal as well. Let me think through how I can demonstrate that. Actually, let me try this.
My concern is I don't think I would want my, like, say, past clients to receive a cash offer valuation. I'd rather them see more of a retail sale, because I don't want them thinking that I think their property is worth a cash offer value.
Okay. Well, that's not what this is. This is sending them to the home value dashboard.
This is okay, so maybe I'm not.
This sends them to this. This is retail value.
Okay.
Okay. I showed
What?
this. Okay, hold on. This is what I send to my past clients, sphere of influence, etc., which sends them to this, which is an estimate of their value. It's 4 different AVMs. They can adjust the value if they've got amenities, a pool, etc., and that will actually adjust. So let's say I've got a beautiful view of the mountains. I can adjust my value up to, I don't know how it's that percentage, but I can adjust the value there. And look, it's reflected. Okay. That's home value. The reason I showed this is because this is what, or something like this is what I would send LeadDeck seller leads. And that would take them to an offer. The portal would be more geared towards offers. I just can't find where it is. Oh, I guess it would be, they would see this, I believe. Yes, they would see this, which is a preview of offer options. So they still see this, but they would also see a preview of offer options. And also, anyone that scans any QR code on any thanks mail piece, you instantly get a text. If you choose, you can turn the text notifications off if you want, but you can get notified by text and email instantly. You can also set up additional automation based upon that scan. So anyone that gets a direct mail piece from me and scans a QR code, they automatically get added to my monthly postcard, because I want to have that insurance in place that if or when they're ready to consider or have a discussion about buying, selling, or investing, that they think of me.
Okay, so your fast cash offers, is that a white label of?
It's my enterprise version of iList. Is that what you're asking?
Well, the cash offers that you had given to us a while back, is that different? It's
the same.
Is that different?
It's the same. I am giving any of our users free access to the offers platform. But if you want the full marketing suite, you have to pay for it. The full marketing suite is where you can integrate it with your CRM. You have landing pages. There's other functionality, but anyone can use the free offers. And in fact, Joe and I had a lengthy discussion yesterday. They are working on an API integration. I'm letting you know this is coming. I have no idea how soon. Okay. So do not bombard Sean or I or Joe. Just know that this is coming. When you open, I could see immediately Sean was like, no, don't. When you go to a seller card and I view the card, what will happen once this integration is live is there'll be a button here where you can preview the offers that are available for the property. And if you want to take that from preview mode to basically the save snapshot mode, which is what I do if I've got somebody that's curious and I'm going to lead with the institutional buyer offers. It'll be another click. It'll load it up and you can do that right there.
Okay, so the retail value platform or landing page that you put on your cards for your monthly cards, that's different from the fast cash or the cash offer. Sorry, I keep messing that up. The free service. So that's
correct. You have to have the marketing suite to be able to send people by email, direct mail, etc., to this or this.
Okay, that's why I thought I was getting confused, because that is the purchase service.
Correct.
Although it's the same.
Anyone using the tool,
yeah,
under Launchpad, step 3 here, you can get free, not a trial, whatever. This is truly free access to these institutional buyer offers, so that anyone on here, as long as the property fits a buy box on one of these, can truly say, I have an offer for your property. The property owner might not like it. Last Thursday, I think we did the deep dive with Janita and the expired, where the last expired price was $759 and the best cash offer was $395 or something like that. So they might not like it and they might not match up, but you can confidently and competently say, I have an offer for you. It's a preliminary offer, but it's a starting point. And also, I have lots of other potential solutions that we can explore together if or when the time is right.
okay, thank you.
You bet. George asked, have you done any deals on fast cash offers? So fast cash offers, just to be clear, that is my name for my enterprise version of iList. Fast cash offers is just a made up name. It is not an actual, like Zoomcasa, Quick Buy, Zoodealio, Homeward, and there are others, are the actual institutional companies that are making the offers. So I just want to delineate that. Have I done any deals on fast cash offers? No and yes. What am I talking about? I have taken lots of listings thanks to those offers in some form or fashion. I use those as a way to position the value proposition of my 7-day stress-free home sale. I have gotten to the point several times with several clients where we've had final offer docs from either Zoomcasa or Quick Buy and Zoodealio, actually. But I haven't actually closed one of those. I have one right now that we're working on with Quick Buy that I have to call. She's kind of ghosted us the last 2 days. So I'm going to text her the Kevin Hart meme and then call her literally as soon as we're done here. Maybe I'll do it while we're still live. I mean, why not? That it seems like she wants to proceed with one of those. We'll see. Shay McGee, who is an agent in my organization in Utah, he closed one with Quick Buy in January. The sellers were thrilled, and he got, I think, $37,000 in GCI from the transaction on a $550-ish thousand property.
How did that happen?
Excuse me?
How did that happen? How did he get such a huge commission off of $500,000?
It's what he negotiated with his sellers.
Oh, wow.
So Quick Buy will do whatever you get to choose what your compensation is with Quick Buy, and really with any of them. It's just that if you increase your compensation, that's coming off the net to the seller, right? So it's whatever you negotiate with your seller. The one that I'm negotiating now, I forget what I don't remember exactly what I did, but I'm going to have Shay on for an interview. He and I have just been, he's busy, I'm busy, whatever. And we're 2 hours apart. We're going to do a case study of that where he'll break down exactly how that all came about. And the client in that one, I think, was a referral from somebody in his sphere of past clients, just for those who are curious. And George said, I'm working on one now with Zoomkasa. I had one in December with Zoomkasa, and we were like a week to 10 days out from settling, and the seller just backed out. Just in general, she just like, it was a weird situation. There was some things that happened in the property that are emotional, whatever. But Zoomkasa was great about it. And we were close to, close to the finish line. And it wasn't Zoomkasa's fault. It was just, the buyer, or I'm sorry, the seller in that instance, just had a change of heart. So we had to pivot. Any other questions about the direct mail or anything?
Josh, can I add something on the cash offers?
Sure.
The way that I've explained it at the higher commission, because I charge 4% when I do the deal. I've never had anybody kick back on it because I tell them it's 2% for the first deal, 2% for the second. I'm actually running 2 transactions for you, and I'm giving you a discount. I charge 3% standardly. You're getting it for 2% each. And people don't even bat an eyelash at that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like anything else. If you can communicate the value and demonstrate, value, people will be more likely to do business. And
it only works for a seller that has a pain point that needs to get out, and they need to get out now.
Yeah. So I sent Nirmala, since we're on this topic, I might as well call her real quick. The Kevin Hart meme.
Please leave your message.
Oh.
71745991998.
Hey, Nirmala, it's Josh. I was calling to see where you are at with the quick buy offers from Cheryl. I think there's an expiration on those. I believe it's the 26th, which would make that sometime mid next week. There are other options we can explore as well if you didn't want to go that route. I just would like to let her know one way or the other what you're thinking. So if you could text or email back and just let me know what you're thinking, if you want to go with one of the 2 options they presented, or if you want to explore other options. Thanks, and chat soon. When you contact a FSBO with my client would like to send an offer, are you using the instant cash offers? Unless I have a portfolio buyer or even a retail buyer. So since we're still here and locked in, and we've got a lot of Founders Club members, Module 0 of the listing sprint is live. And there's an overview and then 3 steps. Oh, Sean hasn't published the update yet, but the content is right and in there. Or maybe I just need to refresh again.
No.
Okay. So the 3 steps are, and some of you have already done this and are doing this, Google spreadsheet with your pocket buyers. And I'm saying those are retail buyers, investor buyers, anyone that you have some level of relationship with. They're in your CRM, they're in your phone, they're in your MLS under whatever. They're on an automated search alert. They've gotten pre-approved. You've showed them properties. You maybe even made offers. They didn't get accepted, whatever. People that you are, let's call it, more than 50% confident if you presented a property that fits the buy box that you are aware of, they'd at least be curious and potentially interested. Step 2 is to go and and this is for the sprint specifically, but I'm going to loop this back to Hank's question. Step 2 is go and find, for the zip code that you're going to choose for the sprint, the count for the flippers and the counts for cash buyer, landlord buyer, multi-vacant land buyer, just so you can have the confidence and the competence to know I have other buyers, depending on the situation and scenario. And then step 3 is getting yourself, if you're not already, set up on, which I'll even back out here, getting yourself, because you can also do it right here, access to the institutional offers. So when I'm messaging a for sale by owner and I say, hey, this is Josh with eXp Realty. Are you still accepting offers for your property at street address? I have an out-of-state private client that would likely be interested in making an offer. That's not the exact script that I have in the 5 weeks to 5 listings challenge. But Hank's question is that where you're going? 100%. They say yes, or they're open to it, or what's the offer, whatever. We want to submit it there. And then you can go 2 paths. You can let them know I've got a preliminary offer and I'd like to come by for a quick tour so I can get pictures in person. And that allows me to get you the best potential offer possible. Or you can send them a Loom video. These are the best 2 preliminary offers that came back from the institutional buyers that we work with and represent here in the area. I would be happy to review them with you and explore the next best steps to get you the best possible offer on the property. And I would also plant the seed. And oh, by the way, if these don't work and you're open to exploring other options, we've got something we call our 7-day stress-free home sale. Does that help, Hank? Does that make sense? And any follow-up questions?
Yes, sir.
Hank or
Thank
others?
you.
Yeah, you bet.
Thank you.
Hey, Josh, it's Jay. Just a quick question back to the mailing.
Yeah.
I think I came in a couple minutes late on the call, but if we set that up and we choose the mailing list, that's the mailing list we use all the time then? Or would you go back in and change the mailing list, go to inherited, and then send that to an inherited? Can you do more than one list?
You can have unlimited lists. So I'm not suggesting that you do this, but you could have a list for every target if you want. Again, not suggesting. Each time you send, I'll demonstrate again. So I'm gonna go to the next. I got to go to another deck because I'm out of leads there. So I'm just pulling up. Let's see here. Okay. So this is a specific property card. Seller signal 100. Let's go. I'm definitely sending direct mail to this one. When I tap mail postcard, I'm not sure what we should say that for because I'm not mailing a postcard. We'll figure that out. You get the point.
It's going to be send mailer.
Send mailer. Okay. Or send mail, send direct mail. I tap that. It confirms the information. Okay. So this is interesting. This is multifamily, but they live in one of the units. So it's not absentee owner, whatever, doesn't matter. I can choose the mailing list.
Okay.
And I have a lot of them. So you can have unlimited. I'm going to choose absentee multifamily and add to list.
Okay, that was the piece I missed early on, is you had to drop down in the deck to be able to choose. So we're cool. Good. That's
And
awesome.
now that I went through that, you could just have one mailing list, because as long as your direct mail pieces, as long as the templates that you're sending, when you're merging in the property that you're referencing, as long as you add the absentee street, it'll work. And I hadn't thought this through until I saw that one, because that is a owner occupant multifamily property owner. And if in the preview it said their name, their mailing address, and their property address, it just so happens that the mailing and the property matched. So that will still work. So if you're someone that's like, I just want the simplest, I just want one bucket to put everybody in, you would make, and we'll help you with all of this, either us or the Thanks team, make sure that your templates are set up in such a way that whether or not you add an owner occupant or an absentee owner, it's referencing the correct property in the copy of the postcard, letter, or note card, and it's being mailed to the correct address.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
Best or better long-term is you're going to want to have campaigns specifically designed for specific buckets. For example, expired listings. You could create a direct mail, a mailing list and a campaign specifically for expired listings. So you use the expired import tool, which if you're not sure where that is, you go to LeadDeck. I can't import on my phone, but I'll show you where to tap it. Actually, let me show you how you would, because I mean, I guess you could. I'm not phone advanced enough to do that on my phone. But if I go to LeadDeck and I do imported leads, and I do, well, I can even show you. So I import, this is I don't know, I think this was expired. And I want to send them, I want to mail a postcard, or I want to send direct mail. I can choose that. Well, I guess it won't work on laptop, Sean, I guess. You have to tap on your phone.
No, what?
I thought it worked earlier. If I click on it on a laptop, does that?
No,
That should work,
No.
you're saying, or that won't work?
100%. All it
Okay.
is popping up a drop, check your mailing list. So
Okay, well,
it works online, but
I
anyway,
thought I tested it yesterday and it was, so
it was.
yeah. Well, for demonstration purposes, I would be doing this on my phone anyway. We'll fix it, but I would be doing this on my phone anyway. So I go to my imported leads here. I go to the leads. Scroll here. I go mail. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's something with the imported leads because it's not doing anything. Whoops, I enhanced it. Oh, no, wait a minute. Now it is. It was just delayed. I don't know what was going on there. Maybe Replit was whatever. So this is an expired listing. I could have a mailing list that is specific for expired listings. What might that, or how might that be different? Well, I might simply say, my letter might say, would you consider selling? If instead of that, it might say, are you still accepting offers on street address? I have a private client. I have an out-of-state private client who might be interested. If you could please let me know either way. You can call or text me at this number, or you can email me here. Now, don't take that. I don't know if that will work to an expired listing. I am theorizing what I would send to an expired listing if I were going to test something like that. So I'm not saying it won't work. I'm just saying I don't have proof or evidence that that is the best copy to send to expired listings. I wanted to illustrate a point that you can create as many mailing lists and therefore as many specific direct mail campaigns to that mailing list as you choose. You could have one specific for multifamily. You could have one specifically for vacant land. You could have one specifically for expired. You could have one specifically for pre-foreclosures. You could have one specifically for inherited properties like Jay mentioned. It's up to you. But what I would recommend is get one working before you get one bridge built from one side to the other. And then you can decide, should I just do more of this one, or should I build another bridge, right? Should I just put more cars across the one I already have? Or do I need to build a second bridge because I can't fit any more cars. There are just no more cars to get going over this bridge. Other questions? I thought I had one other thing I was going to share, but I'm blanking on it. We'll figure out what's going on with the imported one. It seems like, oh no, there wasn't an issue. I was able to do it. It was just, I don't know, it was being funky there for a second. It's a good reminder. If you see something weird going on, if you hit refresh, usually it fixes it. It might be that Sean had released an enhancement. It could just be that, I don't know, something wonky was going on. So you can just literally hit the refresh button on your browser, or sometimes, to be extra safe or sure, you might log out and log back in. But usually that will overcome anything that seems off or wonky. And if not, obviously let us know.
Speaking of wonky, we get a lot of email updates on the calendar, the link is changed or something like that, but it's always, 9:30. And there's so much information on that email and dates. I don't know if that's something we really need to pay attention to. Is that automatic?
You're saying the morning email that goes out? So
yeah, like
I guess I should know this. You all don't get reminders if I don't do that. Is that right?
Well, the reminders, I use one that I just saved from a while back, and because the ones that come out are like at 9:28, and I'm usually logging on before
so
that.
I manually do that before I go live. And I don't have to do that. Just very authentically and transparently for me, if I'm doing these, I want people that hear. And Sean and I were actually having a conversation about this before. We live in a world where if we're not constantly reminded, we can legitimately forget about stuff that we actually wanted to attend or be part of and realize later. So it may be that I can play with some settings to do that, but what you're referring to, I am manually sending. It's the last thing I do before I hit the start button.
But to answer your question, Stuart, if I send an email, it's very important. If Josh is,
you can pick and choose. You can pick and choose.
Because I will be sending an email this morning about how module 0 or day 0 being open for listing sprint, the new thanks stuff. I'll be sending some updates, but mine are, I put my heart and soul in those. Josh, he just rips stuff out. So you just gotta, choose which ones you pay attention to. That's all.
So one that I got earlier at like 9:20 or something. So the subject meeting information has been updated. Breaking news. So, and then one comes out and
maybe I just need to, maybe
9:30.
This is a good reminder for me.
Change or something like that.
Yeah,
so,
I'll look at the Zoom settings. I can see how that would be confusing. If you use Zoom, here's all I do. I change the title, and when I change the title, it says, "Do you want to update all registrants?" And I say yes, because it then sends you an email, which is a reminder. Oh, this thing's about to start. But it's a long, confusing email, and usually it's like referencing the old title, not the new title, which I don't know why it does that too. Like, why wouldn't it say? I don't know. I'll take a look at the settings.
Well, Josh, today in particular was a special session, so I appreciated it.
Yeah, I definitely would have done that. When I add or delete sessions, I want to notify people because I don't want people waiting when I'm not going to be there or missing something that they actually wanted. But the regularly scheduled ones, there may be something I can look at
And then I'll get them other days as well, not just today. So like the time change, or did you add the date onto the calendar, or take days away, or something like that? But yeah, you get the long, all year long, and it's like, I don't know what's changed. So yeah, I think it's just system generated. So just ignore and be on at 9:30.
Okay. Next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the content will be very related to the listing sprint. In other words, the sessions, I will be doing the work that I'm telling everyone to do for those days. If you're participating in the listing sprint, module 0 is laying the foundation. So making sure that you're ready to hit the ground running Monday morning. Monday morning, we will release a action plan for the day. At noon, we will have live Q&A to clarify and get everybody on the same page and ready to go. And then you will implement, theoretically, some of you will implement a little bit before the noon session, but I'm trying to accommodate East Coast, West Coast, etc. So you'll have an action plan that you can implement before noon, or you'll have clarity after that so you can get to work between the end of Monday session and the beginning of Tuesday session. A little bit different than the way the deal sprint, the original 3-day deal sprint, in that we will release, here's what we're doing today in the morning, and then the noon sessions are intended not to be the training, but answering questions, helping people that are like, I'm not sure which zip code to choose, or I'm not sure, I got stuck here or whatever. So that those ended up being marathons, which I'm fine with, but I also want to respect everybody's time. And what is more important out of the listing sprint is the actions that we take. So I want everybody to have clarity, but I think that will be a better way to disseminate or sort of lead that process for everyone. So for those who are interested in participating, Founders Club, those are all open to you. And if you're not, you can participate just in the sprint if you want. And you can do that at LeadDeck.ai/listings. LeadDeck.ai/listings is where you can enroll, and you can, you can get started on module 0 this afternoon or this weekend. That way you're ready when we release. And module 1, I'll say that'll be released on or before 9 a.m. Monday, Eastern, 9 a.m. Eastern Monday.
Do we need to enroll, or do we just log on?
I don't know, Sean. Do they have to do anything specific to be able to see it? I don't think so.
If you're in Founders, no.
Yeah, it'll just be, if you're in Founders, it's right below the Quick Start training. So if you go to Launchpad, you'll see, the 6-step Quick Start, and then it's right here. And
Cool. Thanks.
Our intent is to do a live sprint once a month and mixing the theme, I'll call it, for lack of a better term. I could say niche, but the first one was kind of like, here's our one size fits all 3-day or our 3-step blueprint. Find a deal, use that as bait, making offers. This one is more specifically geared towards listings and specifically absentee owners. The next one is either going to be more geared towards senior owner, baby boomer, or vacant land. We'll see. But at any point, any of you can go back. You're like, I need a reboot, a refresh. You can go back and go through them at any point, because you'll Founders Club in particular, you have access to all of the lives and all of the past. Go ahead, Sean.
I was just gonna say one last thing about the thanks. We got them to hook us up with the ability to connect via API just for us, and then anybody that signs up for the free account or paid account or whatever, when you sign up through the link, all of Josh's templates will be loaded into your system, into your account. I'm sorry, account.
Oh, I missed that. When was that going to happen?
Two things. If you don't have an account, we have a link in there in Launchpad, and I'll also send an email, but it goes to a page with Josh's weird photo. And if you sign up,
Why am I catching a
your
stray?
free
That
account
seemed
there,
unnecessary.
you'll be able to, all of Josh's templates that he uses will be loaded into your account. So you're not working off of, well, you have access to Thanks templates and Josh's templates. If you already have a Thanks account and Josh's templates aren't loaded, you just contact Thanks and they'll load Josh's templates into your account.
Cool.
3 things that I'm going to wrap with. 1, I'll piggyback on that. And it also relates to what I started the session, which is the critique I did with Susan yesterday that I would recommend you all, if you haven't, if you weren't there yesterday or you want to go through it again, it's on Josh Shanley Coaching. For Founders Club members, it's going to be like mandatory viewing before you start tapping to text and email buyers. One of the big lessons that I tried to hammer in there is don't use the default or like the out of the box templates of anything. At least not without making sure they're what they should be. In other words, related to these thanks templates, I want to make it as easy as possible. And also, you should definitely double check before you start sending. Does this look right? Does this have my information or is it Josh's? Does it have whatever? Because they're built to ideally, not have to do work, but like just double check before you, whether it's, these or anything, just make sure that you take a look at it and is there anything here that needs fixing? I met with an absentee owner, husband and wife last night. And unless something drastically changes, I will be listing five of their properties in the next week or 2. I'm sharing that story for a couple of reasons. Number 1, to re-emphasize why I love absentee owners. That's one client that is 5 listings, all of which are assets that I can leverage into more client opportunities as well. Number 1. Number 2, that client came from CJ. CJ, who he's in Sean's office. I don't know if he's in there now.
Nope, you can talk whatever you want.
I'm there last night with Teresa. She says, I was at the bank and I was waiting for a plumber to call. And I saw this number. I didn't recognize it. I thought it's probably the plumber. She answers it. It's CJ. Hey, are you guys still accepting offers for that property on Roush Street? She was like, what? And I think actually he was calling on a different one. He said a different one. And she was like, no, not that one, but we have 5 others that we want to sell. I share that because multiple times a day, I have to try and convince people to just do the work and stop deciding on behalf of the person on the other end what is in their best interest, what is a good deal, what they should. Just do the work to have the conversations. They won't all be yeses, but you don't need a whole lot of yeses like Teresa to do a fair amount of business. That'll be just those 5 will be about $1 million in volume if I don't turn it into anything else. Nothing else. And I know it'll likely turn into at least another 3 to 5 transaction sites, at least. Just knowing what I tend to get from my listings when implementing. We're having a lot of things where we're deciding what's a good deal, what makes sense for. Stop deciding. Your job is to facilitate, have conversations and facilitate. That's it. Have conversations, provide facts, not opinions, and then facilitate. That's our job.
Judgment-free zone.
It's not up to you to decide. Like, you don't know. You don't know. So not only that, I'm working on 7 others with 2 other absentee owners that we'll see. But these 5 from this particular set of absentee owners seems like a lock. And I'm excited to share the step that that is on my to-do list today is putting together a written proposal for them. So I had put together, they had 5. That can be kind of overwhelming. So like, how do you eat an elephant? One at a time. We met at, one is vacant. So we met at the vacant one, and I prepared my Google Drive folder that I do when I'm meeting like that. So I had some things to reference. And now I'm going to put together a proposal for the entire package of 5. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to have information about each property, a projected list price for each property, and then I'm just going to do a Loom video breaking down the properties, then breaking down, here's how we're going to market these properties to maximize exposure. And these are the timelines that we want to hit to make this happen. I'll take that recording with some help from AI to organize it in a written fashion so that I can provide it to them. And honestly, it almost won't matter what it says. The simple fact that I've taken the time to actually do it. Now, obviously, I want it to be organized and look professional, et cetera. But my point is, it's less about what it says, and it's more about the time that I have taken to document and demonstrate, that I have a plan and demonstrate my expertise.
So you're going to document that and share that with us when?
Well, I'm going to do it today and tomorrow, and so I'll share it next week. And actually, it perfectly aligns with day 3 of the listing sprint.
Look at Sean laughing. Knew I was going to ask the question. You knew it was coming.
Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to document and share that one. But that is a unique case in that it's 5 properties. So I will also have as many as possible ready for next week of individual properties and specific use cases. So this sprint isn't about for sale by owners, but I have an example use case of for sale by owner. Here's the video, and here's the proposal that I made with the video. Here's an individual multifamily property, and here's that video, and here's whatever. So coming soon, next week.
Speaking of the sprint, it's from 12 to 1. I have got a class that I've got to do from 1 to 5 each day after that. Will we get everything done during that 1 hour?
No, that's that. So
I'm talking about the teaching portion.
There's no that's not what it's for. Okay. So I'm glad you're asking the clarifying question. The teaching will be released in the morning. The 1 hour block is only for Q&A and clarification. So I'm not teaching or training during that hour. That hour is designed to make sure that no one can say, I don't know what to do. I'm confused. I'm stuck. I want everyone to leave with clarity on this is what the next 24 hours needs to look like to win and have won the last 24 hours when I come back Tuesday at the same time.
Perfect. Great answer. So you're releasing that tomorrow morning, you said?
No. Module 0 will be released by noon.
An hour.
Yeah, by noon Eastern. Module 0. Module 1 training and action plan will be released Monday morning. No later than 9 a.m. Eastern. And it will be short and punchy. It'll probably be 2 videos, 5 to 7 minutes or less. Do these exact things. That's it. It's
So we can do the work
two
anytime
actions
we
basically.
want. The 12 to 1 is really more support time if you have
Correct.
questions about the work that you're doing.
Correct.
So we do not need to be there unless we have questions for you. So we pop in and
100%.
out.
100%.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Thank you for the clarification. That helps me with my schedule for this week a lot.
You got it. You got it. James.
I have a listing appointment tomorrow, and I was gonna have an example you can share
Of what?
of one of your proposal docs.
So you want to bring that with you? Is this a listing appointment, or is this like a pre-listing preview? Because that's what, so last night to me was a listing preview. Like I don't do presentations.
Yeah.
B, I'd never met them. I had only texted with them. I never even talked to them on the phone. I'd certainly never met the husband. So are you like, how is this, what is this appointment, I guess is my question.
My wholesaler partner teed her up.
Okay. This is how I would handle it. You can handle it however you want. I would I'll share the example of the Google Drive folder that I put together last night. Where is it? Here it is.
Yeah, I need to start doing that.
Okay. So it doesn't, don't think about this as like you have to exactly do this. And what I mean is I've got an RPR report. I've got a Remind report. If you don't have Remind, don't like, it's just collecting information so I can see, I want to get as broad a view as I possibly can of the property. So in this is what I include. As many AVM printouts as I, deem feasible. So for me, that's RPR, it's Remind. And I have access to, I didn't even do this on this one, I forgot. I have House Canary because I have a UWM login and it's free. I don't pay for it. But just use whatever you have. What's going to be more important anyway is the actual MLS comps. So I always include those. Okay. This is just a MLS comp printout. Oh, wait a minute. Why is this just one? Oh, it's loading. There were, I don't know. Sometimes it's one, sometimes it's three, sometimes it's 8. It just depends. Like, I'm trying to pull the comps that an appraiser might pull. Okay. Small radius, same school district, similar square footage, similar house type. I include, look at this, Stuart. I included this now. This is new. This is new. So I put this in here. We didn't even bring this up, but I want to have it there if it comes up. They didn't even really ask about pricing. I mean, we were talking about pricing and what they want to get from the 5 properties total, but it wasn't like a, an in-depth pricing conversation. I usually will include this, which is just, it's another perspective on pricing. This is from Core Present in Bold Trail. Honestly, I don't reference this that often, but I have it in there just in case.
Pricing pyramid, except it's in a different layout, basically.
Yeah. I will usually pull this, which this is in Bold Trail. If you add a manual listing, if you go to listings and you do manual listings, okay, this was the property last night. You can generate, they just call it a pitch sheet. I don't know why, but you can generate a pitch sheet. And so I think this is kind of cool. So this is the total number of active buyers. I think what they're saying is that's how many contacts are in Bold Trail accounts that are tied to EXP. In other words, if you have an EXP Bold Trail, that's how many total buyers. That is just, I don't know, it's impressive, right?
Yeah.
This is the number of active buyers in the US at the $200,000 range, because that's what I put in that number for this property, because based upon my research and what they had given me pricing thoughts on the whole package, it made sense. Then there are 713 in Harrisburg, and then active in Harrisburg in that price range, 667. Now, sometimes it says 7. Any
Josh,
number.
Is this property listed, or you have this is just you playing around with the manual listing?
This is me entering it as a manual listing. So I have this and I can
Okay.
demonstrate to them.
Is that home actually listed, or it's just
No.
in the manual? Okay, cool.
No, you don't. It doesn't have to be. I do this like, this is one, it's now listed. This is the expired one that I've told the story of several times recently, where they picked me because I told them who the 2 buyer buckets are and I had a plan and I documented that I had a plan. I made the pitch sheet for them too, and that I included that in my follow-up with them. So I had on my appointment, like James, you're going tomorrow, I had this folder organized and we really just had a conversation and I was demonstrating that I was prepared, that I had a plan, and that I had proof that I can get them the end result. Okay. The other thing I include in here is, and I need to update this, but this is just a bunch of MLS printouts of properties that I've sold. Your proof might be, you could print out Google reviews, whatever, just some proof that you're legitimate. If you're brand new, borrow proof from your office. Like, find a way to provide proof. You can provide proof even if you're brand new. It might just be proof that, other people in our office, whatever. I think that's it. So I have AVM printouts of some kind. I have the actual MLS comps of some kind. I have information on pricing, the buyer proof on some level, and then proof that, that I can get the job done, or proof, case studies, whatever on, you can on that. And then in my presentation to them, in my proposal to them, this property, an owner occupant is the best buyer. It's renovated. It's not like, it's renovated well enough that the most likely buyer is an owner occupant buyer. The rest of them, the most likely buyer is an investor buyer. So I will absolutely be using LeadDeck as part of my proposal to them. And one of the things that I'm going to, because we even talked about it last night, one of the things that I'm going to do is tell them, you see what was the zip code? I think it was 17111. So Teresa and Carlo, while we're coming soon, I'm going to reach out to all of these 17 and 24 to proactively generate or create demand for the properties, because there are multiple. So that will be part of my proposal to them. So we're gonna market to the existing buyer database that we have. Where is it? Yeah, here. We're gonna market to the existing buyer database. We're gonna market to the active buyers in the market. We're gonna market to the buyers agents that have people interested, and we're gonna market on online, both on social platforms and open networks to maximize exposure. So what I would do, James, if I were you, is I would put together some folder here so you can have a very educated, documented conversation. And then the reason why I don't create the proposal is, I don't know, I won't say half the time, but some of the time I don't need the proposal. Because by the end of that first engagement, because I was organized and I had demonstrated knowledge, et cetera, they're like, yeah, I'm ready to go. What do we need to do next? But sometimes I need to do the proposal to then get it passed. And that's kind of where, like, if I pushed hard, Teresa and Carlo, I probably could have gotten just a hard yes last night. But why not make it more concrete? And also, honestly, I was thinking this is good practice for me, because the more I practice it, the more I can communicate it and demonstrate it, that all of you can R&D it for yourself. So, and it also means that, like, I don't know, they're more likely to listen to me as well. In other words, if we do have to explore, a price reduction, or as we're getting offers, the more deposits I make with them, and the more I demonstrate that I am, an expert and can help lead them through this process, the more likely they are to, to trust my recommendations and suggestions, et cetera.
Are you just showing up with a folder full of all these printouts, or?
Of course, Stuart went there. No, I bring my laptop and I tether my phone. I literally just open up the folder on here. I will literally, this is what I did last night. I opened it up on their counter. I tethered it to my phone, and I'm not suggesting this is the best, but that's how I do it. If you want to print them out and have them in a folder there, so be it. He had a printout with a folder. He had a manila folder with printouts on it. I just don't like printing stuff, if I'm being honest. And also, in most cases, I end up sharing this folder with them as well. So I literally just will go, share, and I have her email. I'm not going to post her email in here now, but that's how I handle it.
Can you share that with us?
Her email?
Can you share that?
Didn't I do that? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I started to, and
then
then
did the paste. Yep.
yeah, hold on.
Cool.
Yeah, I tried using a laptop before, but I just found that, unless you're sitting right in front of the screen and you got three people all trying to cram in, you just can't see it from the angles. And it's like, I can spin paper around, I can draw on it, I can write on it.
Yeah,
Thank you, Josh.
Yeah, you bet. I'm not suggesting. Maybe it's the laziness in me. I don't know. I'm not suggesting it's a bad idea by any stretch. That's how I have handled it. Is, I'll just open it up on here and go from there.
I just find I work with such a broad group of people. I usually ask them what's their preferred method. If I think somebody wants me to leave something behind, which I find helpful sometimes when it's on paper, because I circle things in front of them and highlight things, and I just individualize most everything I do. So I agree, laptop's great, but there's also a purpose for other ways of presenting things.
When I share what I do, I'm never, my stance is never, this is the one way to do it. Yeah,
new ideas. So.
Yeah, I'm never, I'm egoless when it comes to that. This is what I do, but I'm open to whatever works better. And also whatever works for you. I would say the bigger takeaway is the more you prepare, and this doesn't take long. Like all of these printouts, I probably did in 12 minutes or less. But just the fact that I've prepared is a demonstration to them, one, and also it means I'm more prepared for the appointment as well in just looking in just doing that and looking at the comps and looking at the AVMs, et cetera, and identifying. For example, I didn't bring this up, but proactively having a conversation. Zillow says it's worth 260. You're saying 285. We're going to have to find some way to overcome that in our marketing plan for this property, because consumers are looking at that. So we've got to have a good answer. So just things like that you might not notice if you don't do the preparation. Stephanie, you've had your hand up for very long. Sorry, go ahead, James.
Just before Stephanie, that was just the link to your 7-day case studies.
Oh.
Yeah.
Up here?
Oh,
okay. Sorry. Here.
Yeah. Another thing we could put, like, I've been taking screenshots when I go into fast cash offers of the 4 values that is pulling from the 4 areas.
Here's what I would love to have. I guess you could just do a screenshot and upload a screenshot. I wish there was a way in Google Drive that you could add like notes or something. Because I would like to be able to add a note that has their link, their snapshot link.
Yeah.
So I could reference that if that comes up. I just don't think there's a way to add a note, and I don't think I'm going to get Google to change their platform for that. I think what I have done actually is I'll create a doc.
Yeah.
I'll create a doc and I'll just paste in the link. That way I know I have it and I can click it there. But I'm sure this will evolve.
Josh,
Stephanie,
there's an RPR report in that group, isn't it? Isn't there?
yeah, it's
Okay. Just check.
no, not that one.
Is it a one-page report?
No, it's the long one. Oh, where is it? Did I not upload it? No, I think this is it. Yeah, this is it.
Well, I'm not seeing it. Not in the drive.
Yeah, it's this one. This is the RPR report.
Good.
The one that it's the street address, Carlo and Teresa. Go ahead, Stephanie.
I just wanted to ask again real quick, your conversation last night, where did you put that so I can go back and look at it?
What do you mean?
Oh, you said you were talking to somebody, I can't remember her name. You had the conversation last night. You said it's in coaching, it's in your coaching. Maybe it's on YouTube, but I don't remember.
Oh, the one that you merged down.
That
to
was
16
with that was with Susan and the texting and emailing scripts.
Was that what you
That's
mean?
it.
Stephanie, is
Yeah,
that?
I guess.
Oh.
You had said that we needed to take a look at it before the sprint next week.
Selective hearing. That's fine.
Zero.
Yeah. So
I'll be adding that to module 0 and the quick start. and
but
it'll be in
I don't
email.
know that it makes sense in module 0 because it's for buyers and we're like I don't want to confuse people.
Okay, then it'll be in quick start, but I'll let everybody know where it is when I set out. the
But I'm not 100% convinced that's what you're referencing, Stephanie. So are you here?
Okay.
I'll circle back around.
Okay.
And maybe this will catch it one way or the other. Number 1, module 0 of the listing sprint will be released. It's in there, but updated by noon today. At the very beginning, and I referenced it again in the middle, is I really cleaned up and scrubbed the conversation with Susan yesterday, which was an audit of the email and text message she was sending to active landlord buyers for an off-market deal. And we are going to make that required viewing before any new user is texting or emailing or calling buyers, specifically buyers, because this was geared towards that, so that we can be as proactive as possible in what she sent to those 26 had a very low success chance. And so if this existed prior to that, she would have already had better results from that. So I'm trying to proactively ensure that when people are doing the work, that it has the greatest likelihood to succeed from day one or from tap number 1. I'm hoping it was one of those two. So it's a cold email marketing masterclass for realtors who want to close more deals in 2026. It's on the YouTube channel, Josh Chainley Coaching. It will also be added to the quick start, and we'll probably have it as like a pop-up in like a little, I don't know. I didn't even tell Sean or mention this to Sean, but maybe we have it as like a little, don't we have? Yeah. Learn how to analyze.
Tooltip.
Yeah, a tooltip. Yes, a tooltip. That's what it is. Anybody else?
I have one more question.
Sure.
You've got a lot of links that I either don't know where it is or can't find it or whatever. But from LeadDeck, when I'm in there looking at all of the data, you've got links that go /sprint, closers, whatever else that you've got. but I can't find those links. I just have to know what they are. Is there a way to put that in the lead deck so that I can get to those links without having to remember everything?
Right this second, no, but trust me, I struggle with the same thing because Josh put out a ton of different resources with this week's Closers Cafe, and I'm trying to figure out where in Launchpad to easily organize so you don't have to go out. You just go into Launchpad. So I'm
currently, if
trying
you go to
figure that out.
/CAL, this has us here. And you can also, if you're a Google Calendar person, you can add our Google Calendar, which has both the live links and the replay links in them. So if I go to, let's say, Monday, it wasn't there because I didn't do Closers Cafe. So why isn't, the lab's not on there. But right here, I don't know why the line break is. I can share for those. You can add that if you use Google Calendar, you can add this calendar to as a calendar to your GCal. Here, this link, I'll put it in the chat. If you go to that link, you can choose to add it to your Google Calendar. It will show as a different. So you see how I've got my calendar, and then I don't have, I guess mine it's layered on top of mine because it's a calendar that I own, but the greens here are all LeadDeck stuff. And so if I go to next week, no, how do I go to, here we go. Monday, this is LeadDeck. This is LeadDeck. Stuff like this, you won't see. Founders Club only stuff will show up on the calendar, but it won't have the link because this calendar is a publicly shared calendar, but we don't want to give, we don't want to give the Zoom link to our lab. Yeah, I don't have it here. I must not have saved it correctly. I'll get that added. But if you open this, you can see, so for Closers Cafe, this is the direct Zoom link if you want to be in the Zoom room, and then all the replays are here. And there's the link to the Zoom room. We didn't add it to the footer, did we?
What's that?
Did we add, I don't know, the calendar or something to the footer?
Yeah, not when you're logged in because it's
right, because you're logged in. Yeah.
Yeah. But I am definitely, Stephanie, trying to figure out the easiest way because Josh plops Google Drive links like it's going out of style. I try to keep up, but there needs to be like one spot where you don't have to what call, what page. So I'm definitely working on that for you.
Yeah.
I just don't have it figured out yet.
Okay. So Nirmala did message me back. Look at this. She replied to the Kevin Hart meme. I quite didn't like the offer. Even though she, I personally reviewed the offers, the preliminary offers with her ahead of time. And she said she liked it. But then after reviewing it with Quick Buy. So, yep, I totally get that. Period. Would you be totally opposed to getting it on the market using our 7-day stress-free home sale system? ? I'm quite confident we can net you significantly more through that process. We'll see. TBD. Okay. Noon, we're doing the live demo and Q&A. None of you should come to that. You should all get to work. I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Stephanie.
There's a property in my neighborhood that's listed by an EXP agent. And it has been on the market for months, like since the summer last year. I can't wrap my head around this 7-day quick sale process that you have. Like, if I were to go to her and say, hey, let me do this process for you on this property, do I have any assurance that it's going to work? Like, I just don't understand how you can do this in 7 days.
Well, the first thing is, if it's been listed that long, they're going to, for this to have any chance to work, we have to drastically change the price. Drastically. So in your opinion, you know this neighborhood, obviously.
Yep.
What do you think a retail buyer would pay for it?
Somewhere over 300 to 325. I mean, there was a house down the street that sold, around 325 last year. Similar. But I think the problem is they've upgraded the property and they're trying to get their investment out of it. And so that's probably why they haven't dropped the price.
Okay.
So it's over improved.
Right.
What's the list price?
$349.
Oh.
So for the 7-day stress-free home sale to work on this, you'd have to list it at $275.
Okay, so that's
if you told me, so here's how I would pitch it to them, knowing nothing. I would say, look, the market has spoken. We've been at this number forever. Here is, and I can document this with proof. Here is the best way we can establish the very highest and best market value right now. I'm not suggesting you should accept the market value. I'm telling you, this is how we can establish it. We would need to drop the price. And if I were giving like a very specific plan, we need to withdraw the property for at least 2 to 4 weeks. We need to come back on market and relaunch it with new price, new pictures, new marketing to guarantee that we get enough traffic meaning website and otherwise, showings and offers. We got to be at 275. We make it as clear as possible to everyone publicly and all agents privately that the seller reserves the right to accept, reject, or negotiate any and all offers. In other words, this is the starting price. It's not the price we're going to accept. We're saying that without directly saying that. We need to market the property for 7 to 10 days prior to going live and allowing showings for a small window of time. I'm assuming it's currently occupied. So in a currently occupied situation.
I'm not sure if it is.
Okay, well, if it's vacant, I would go Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we're going to allow showings Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We might even hold back showings until noon on Friday, and we cut off showings Sunday at 5. We do that process, and we will have enough activity to at least establish what is a ready, willing, and able buyer going to pay for your property today in today's market. And again, you don't have to accept it, but that is how you determine the real value of a property, because it doesn't matter what an appraiser says unless that appraiser's buying it.
Right. Okay, this is really helpful because I didn't realize that you were taking a property to the market at such a discount, which I understand why you're doing that now. So that was really helpful. Thank you.
So let me, I was supposed to go pick up my wife's birthday gift for tomorrow. So now I'm gonna have to do that after the demo and Q&A, which is fine. I thought I was gonna have enough time to run a quick errand in between, but this is great because this is, I mean, it's great. I think it helps to clarify for all. The reason I love this pricing sheet or this pricing, whatever, guide, strategy is, and this is the same as well. And this one might even be better. I don't know. They have it here. Okay. That's where they're listed. They're at aspirational. How do we know that? Well, because they've been trying to get that price for how long?
At least last summer.
Okay.
It was on the, I walk around the neighborhood every day. And so
they're hoping that some crazy person is just going to somehow or another, and a crazy person, they are literally looking for the needle in the haystack.
Right.
They're not even at market value pricing, according to what you told me, which is it would more likely sell for 3.25. If we want to guarantee to establish the highest and best market value right now, we got to be here. We got to be at event-based pricing. We have to turn this into a circus. We have to get so many people scheduled to see the home that everyone is wondering what is going on here. And also, and I will tell this to them openly, if it comes up for sure, but sometimes I'll proactively bring it up. A majority of the people that come through are not going to be able to pay the price that we're actually trying to establish. In other words, at $275, we're going to have people that are capped at $300. And that's fine because they play a role in the process. And my job is to help you get the highest and best price. My job is not to represent the buyers or educate the buyer's agents. They can figure that out on their own. But it is a math equation. If we get 30 people through here in a weekend, I guarantee we're going to have at least 3 to 5 offers, maybe 10. If we get 10 people in a weekend, maybe we get 1 or 2, maybe. If we get 50 people through a weekend, we're going to have so many offers, we're just going to be able to pick and choose. The goal would be that at the end of Sunday night or Monday morning, we have at least 3 similar offers. 2 is okay. 3 is better. We go back to the 3 and we transparently tell them, just so you know, we have 2 other very similar offers. So what my sellers have decided to do is to give the 3 of you another 12 hours to improve your offer if you choose. So we're giving you 12 hours to present your highest and best. If your client wants to stay where they're at, totally get it. But these are so similar, they're not sure how to pick. That is how I conduct those. I will also say that even though I talk about the 7-day stress-free home sale system all the time, it doesn't mean that their home will qualify. It doesn't mean that they'll comply. This expired listing that I just went live with, I didn't make any of these promises because they're unwilling to get it to a price to do this. And also, it's a very unique style of house in a very specific community. I'm not certain it would work. If we do it with this property, the one that I was talking about that I was at last night, and these folks will listen to me at this point. If we list this at 175, I'll have to allow overlapping showings, and we'll have an absolute zoo. The pricing that you told me, they're at 350. You think probably 320, 325 is the market value. 275 is the number. You might, here's what I would tell them. We might be able to get the same result at 300, maybe. But if you told me we had to guarantee the result to you, we got to be at 275 to start. And if they wanted to do 300, I'd say, I'm fine with that. It's your choice. And ultimately, you have to be comfortable with that. Just know that that number has, regardless of all that we're going to do, because the work that we will put in remains constant. That number that we choose has the largest outsized impact on how many people we get through in 3 days. And that number directly relates to how many offers we get, and how many offers we get directly relates to how high of an offer we end up getting.
Okay. All right. So this question is going to be, why would you, as a realtor, want to do this for somebody who's unreasonable, or would you not?
I don't. Why would I?
Yeah, right.
If they're not going to listen, I had this conversation with Val earlier this week. Val is she's in Alabama. She recently came over to EXP. She's told me like a bazillion times now, I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. That was a terrible Val impression. But she texted me earlier this week. Can you call me real quick? I need your advice. I call her. She's like, I already know what you're going to say, but I just want you to say it. She went to, it was an expired listing. She met with them. The house is a dump. The ceilings are low and completely, wholly unrealistic. I was like, oh, okay, so what are we talking about? Like, what do you suggest? I said, here's what I would tell them without being rude or insulting. I would tell them, this is, I don't know what's going on here. I'm trying to mute Hank. Don't insult them, but tell them the truth. I'm not saying you might find the buyer you're looking for. But from my perspective, like, she thinks it'll sell for 550. They are unwavering in 700. Give me a break. Next. Like, what are we talking about? I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to, like, what? So I'm going to be able to negotiate them down 150,000? No, these people are crazy. But tell them the truth. And if or when they do finally come to their senses, who do you think that they might remember you as the one that was no BS?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, in other words, you've got to figure out if the seller is willing to accept what the market bears in terms of the price through this process, and then accept it. If you don't think they're going to accept it, why even bother going through all that work for them to just reject what the market is going to say? Right? Is that right? Is that the proper way?
Is this why you said earlier in the week you don't like listings?
Probably.
So here's the reality. This is not just for you. This is for most people. Because we're unwilling to tell the truth, then we get these misconceptions in our brain. And also for most people, they don't have enough people or prospects in their pipeline that they try to find a way to help everyone. You can't help everyone.
Right.
Okay.
I just got burned a while back on a few properties that were just like, one was a FSBO. I worked forever. He over improved the property, never sold it. Actually, you know what? He bought it from his uncle and cut me out of the deal with a lender that I gave to him, and it made me really mad. And then another one was just a dump. I couldn't believe it actually sold, but it was a struggle. And I don't think he was real happy with me.
Okay, hold on. Was there more?
No.
Okay.
No,
so you're allowing, hold on.
There was actually another one in my neighborhood. that overpriced it, wouldn't bring it down. It never sold, still hasn't sold. Like, they've just taken it off the market altogether.
Okay. So you're allowing those past experiences to keep you from progress moving forward. And you know the red flags to look for because you've experienced them.
Right.
And so I just have no problem with telling the truth and being okay with however they receive that. And if they're unreasonable or unrealistic, just keep moving. Just keep, there's plenty more using there's plenty more fish in the sea. And there are plenty of people. Tomorrow, there will be a new batch of absentee owners that were motivated or more motivated tomorrow than they were today because they had the last straw. Right. And they're ready, willing, and able to listen. And I will also say, do you think in me sharing that process, did I seem like I had conviction and confidence?
Yes.
Because I know it works if they actually listen, because I have a mountain of evidence that it works. And also, I've had times where it didn't work exactly the way I had hoped. I had one. This was an expired listing. It was like a really old expired listing. Like he had tried to list it in like 2019 or 2020. And in last spring, the conversation started October of 2024. October of 2024, the conversation started. We listed it in the springtime. I thought 575 was the number. I thought 575, this thing will be sold in the weekend. I'm counting my commission check. We had like 2 or 3 showings first weekend. Monday morning, I freaking owned it. David, I think I really, I dropped the ball on pricing here. Now, ultimately, he chose 575. I wanted 550 and he chose 575. And I can't force someone. And I also thought like there was enough it's not like he wanted 650 and I thought 550. So it was close enough. And even though it was his choice, I owned it as if it were my fault. I think we really dropped, I really dropped the ball here on pricing. We didn't have enough activity this weekend to really get the result that we had talked about getting in a weekend. And he was fine with that. He was motivated, but not urgent, and was okay with having to wait a little bit to get his price. And finally, 30 days later, we lowered it to 550 and we were under contract in less than a week. And he ended up being, happy and so was I, and left me a rave review. Why am I sharing that story? I guess I'm saying I outlined best case scenario. And I believe that this is the best way to establish real market value because I have evidence that it is. And most often when it doesn't work, it's because we didn't price it low enough to start. You could find exceptions to the rule, for really weird, unique properties. At the time, I set a neighborhood record in my neighborhood. We thought it would sell for upper 5s. We listed it at 550. It sold for 604, 875 or something like that. I don't even know how we got to that like specific number, but that literally was the closed price. It was like 604, 8 something. I also sold one for 610 last summer. I wanted to list it at 550. They wanted to list it at 600. Okay. We sold it for 610. They might have been right in that case. If we listed at 550, maybe we wouldn't have gotten to 610. I don't know. All you can do is present a plan and and go. But I think, just from what you're saying, I think you're allowing some unfortunate experiences from your past cloud the future and keep you from maximizing some opportunities.
Well, I guess my position currently is I don't really want to deal with retail sellers. I would much rather work with absentee owners. I mean, there's so many other opportunities in
Stephanie,
the market. Why do I even?
Can I challenge you there?
Sure.
You have two of them right now that you've told me for weeks now want to list their property with you, and have you taken the listing?
No, I haven't. No.
Why?
Because I hate listings right now.
I
don't know with certainty.
Stephanie, I got my license in Texas. I'll come up and listen.
There we go. Thank you, David. Somebody say it. Golly. You've had the conversations, so I don't have the context that you have. But from what you've shared, they seem pretty motivated. And also, you have indicated just in the last minute that you want to work with non-retail buyers and sellers. And the bait that you are waiting to list is wonderful to get more of those people also. And the more of those people are in your world, the more they know other people, they have other properties, etc. Those things multiply. And I just, I would start there.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And I wouldn't think again about that property in your neighborhood.
Okay. Hey, David, you're in Austin, aren't you?
Houston.
Houston. You're in Houston.
Yeah, Houston.
Okay.
I've sold in El Paso. I've sold in Beaumont, Tweety. I've sold all over Texas.
Okay. All right. Well, we need to connect. Why don't you text me your number or something?
This was proof that Josh is a way nicer guy than me.
I don't know what that means.
You handled that pretty
What's your phone
smooth.
number?
He's very nice. Very nice.
Yes, he's a lot nicer
He
than
could have really kicked me in the tail, right?
I feel like I did. I feel like I did. Maybe I need to, I don't know.
I'd send you to my morning. I listen to Marcus Taylor in the morning, and his is all like motivation and getting rid of all of that mental BS before you even start your day. And sometimes I'll text Josh it, but it just like cleans all that. It's like detoxes your brain of all of that storytelling that we tell ourselves. And I'll send you a link to one of them, but that's what they call it, stinking thinking. But that's just that's some stinking thinking right there.
Well, you know what it is, and that's why I'm thankful for this group, so you can help get me out of that rut. So
what's your phone number, Stephanie?
It's 512-779-6436.
There we go.
6436.
Yes.
512-779-6436.
Yes.
I'll reach out.
Thanks.
One last thing I'll say on this is, am I wrong in saying that you have had many clients over the last few years who you enjoyed working with?
Yes.
Let's focus on those. In other words,
yeah, they've been buyers too. So,
but I guess but regardless of that, just don't allow, look, in this world, you're not going to get along and mesh with everyone. And so don't allow people that, if you were probably being honest, there were probably red flags that you shouldn't have taken that business to begin with. And now you're, to at least some degree, allowing that to impact your future or the view that you're taking moving forward, when it wasn't you, it was them.
yes, I mean, there were some red flags, but I felt like, I always go into it thinking, okay, whether, I assume that the sellers will be reasonable. That's my out of the gate without even knowing who they are. I assume that they're going to be a reasonable person. And, they'll look at the market, I'll provide the data, they'll make a reasonable decision. It just happened to be that these people didn't.
Can I ask one other question? How long ago are we talking?
A couple years.
Yeah, I mean, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Well, I can't even remember a single transaction client from 2024. That David story from April of 2025 is probably the I'm sure if I thought long and hard, I could find some others in my brain, but like, I think it's just more volume, because the more volume you have, the more choices you create. In other words, you create the optionality of choosing who you get to work with, number one, and just focus more and invest more energy on the things, the clients or the things or the transactions that you're grateful for having had, and just get flush those from your memory.
Yes, I just have enjoyed working with buyers lately, and so I guess that's more of what I.
Well, then listen, but you can choose to do that, and also know that those particular listings that I've been hammering you on, which I mean, I would hope, for your sake, that they would still give you those opportunities, but maybe not at this point, because
I know,
but those, when you market those beget more of the buyers that you probably want also. Right? They're bait that would likely bring you more of what you're hoping for as well.
Okay. All right. I need a follow-up.
It sounds unresolved still, but
I need a follow-up conversation with you one-on-one about that.
okay.
Do you have time today?
Probably not at this point, but
tomorrow?
probably later.
Oh,
I thought,
yeah, no, not tomorrow.
I can't tomorrow. It's Pam's birthday. Although I could talk, while I'm taxiing. that won't count against me. I'll get with you, Stephanie. We'll get it. We'll get whatever we need resolved.
Okay.
Hank.
All right. Thanks.
You bet. Go ahead, Hank.
Hey, I had a question. I pulled up, looked up a FSBO property on iList. I want to know if I could share my screen and just
sure.
Let me know what you think here.
Absolutely. I mean, this session might roll right into the noon. You should be able to share now.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so this address is a for sale by owner. It's a townhouse. I think it's listed for $285, like on Zillow. So I was just wondering, you said you would like do a Loom video and explain the different options for the owner.
Can you keep scrolling? So you got homeward. You said it's a for sale by owner and it's listed on Zillow at $285?
Yes.
Okay. Cash plus repairs. Cash plus offer. Okay. So here's what I would present to them. I'm assuming you don't want, so to me, there's not one perfect single prescription. And what I mean by that is, we have people that are having success going out on the appointment before presenting any of these preliminary offers. So we go out, we meet with the seller, we get photos, we establish rapport, we uncover what the motivation is. Are they relocating? Is it non-owner occupied? Like, all of that. Okay.
Right.
And then we get that information. We present the preliminary offer. We plant the seed for the 7-day stress-free home sale, and the pivot or the call to action there is, would you be totally opposed to exploring this in more detail? You know, this offer in more detail together.
Okay.
That's one path. The other path is we present the preliminary offers, pick 2 or 3, share that and the information and details, plant the seed for the 7-day stress-free home sale. The call to action in that case is, if any of these options seem like they could be worth pursuing, the next best step is for me to pop by so I can get a quick tour. They require that I get in-person pictures of the property. It'll take me 10, 15, 20 minutes tops. Either one of those paths is fine.
Okay.
And I think you make it a judgment call as to, you know, time and proximity and so forth. In other words, like if I'm doing this and I already know that I'm going to be in this neighborhood for some other reason, well, then I'll just go for the appointment, because pivoting after the appointment does increase your chances. And also, FSBOs, let's face it, you got to go through a fair amount of them to find the one that is going to be realistic and open to working with you, et cetera, et cetera. Either way, it's just practice.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, you're either going to practice being better in person with a seller, or you're going to practice communicating and proposing through Loom or whatever, however you choose. If I were to go to the Loom route, based upon those, I would pick 2 of the dual close options. For whatever reason, the quick buy single close isn't there. For in most cases, when I'm presenting, the quick buy single close is one of the options that I have, because their single close option, at least the offer price, is for most pretty close to market value. So at least from a price perspective, they're like, okay, this looks, you know, somewhat good or viable. And then I'll have 1 or 2 dual closes. In your case, the single close was just the Zudilio cash offer, and that was like the typical low ball. I mean, it was like 160 or something like that, and they're asking 285. Don't even put that on there. They will just get, you know, what is this? You know, what are we talking about? You know, they'll just get offended. So I would pick 2. From what I remember was on the screen there, the Zudilio, the top Zudilio cash plus, I would select that one, and I'd pick either the Homeward or one of the Zoomkasa ones. I'd have those 2 options. I would record a 60, maybe 90 seconds at most. And this would be my, actually, hell. Why don't we do this? Can you, let's do, share your screen again, Hank.
Okay.
So let's deselect everything but so deselect that one. And for those, like this is the offer platform. Basically what we're doing is we're hiding these from their view. We're hiding these from the seller view. We can still see them in the admin view, but we're making it so they don't see those. So we're going to leave the Zudilio Cash Plus, and let's leave the Zoomkasa Cash with Reno.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter, but I'm just picking 2 that are at least close, 2 that aren't the same company, and that are at least somewhat close price-wise to the list price that they have. And then hide the buy first, sell later ones too. Oh, that's just one of them.
How do I hide that one?
I don't know. I don't know why it looks like that. Why can't you hide that one? Well, that's weird. You know what? Let's not even worry about it for now. go back up and hit the share. And copy the seller view and drop it in the chat for me, please.
Okay.
Now, can you as in as much detail as possible, tell me how did you get to this point with this seller?
Well, I just looked it up on Zillow and I just put this in because
You haven't even gotten you haven't even reached out to them yet?
I haven't reached out to them yet. I'm just like trying
Okay,
to
so
see-
I'll use this as an example, but we're having a until you get some conversation with them, I wouldn't even go to this point. So it's good practice. It's good practice, right? But you would typically do this after they've said some form of a warm, consideration.
Right.
Okay. But I'm gonna pretend like we've gotten that. So we're gonna pretend like Hank had texted this homeowner with the script, with this text script. Hi, this is Hank with eXp Realty. Just curious, are you still accepting offers for your property at 5264 Millway? ? I have an out-of-state private client who might be interested. Period. So if it's, yes or anything other than no, we're not accepting offers. And the reason why I say that is, depending on how long it's been on there, they might be under contract or they might have offers, so whatever. We're assuming they said, yes, I'm open to it. I'm going to mock record. I'm not going to actually record the Loom. Well, I'm going to try and record the Loom video. My Wi-Fi seems to be more stable. I am screen sharing, right?
No, let me stop share.
Oh,
Okay.
but everybody else can see mine, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Got it.
Yep.
Hey, Hank, it's Josh. I appreciate you getting back to me so quickly about your property there. I was able to pull together some preliminary numbers. Now, these are what we call institutional buyers that we represent in the area, and they have some unique ways that they structure offers. These are the preliminary numbers that came back based upon tax record data on the property. I'm going to share these and a breakdown where you can see the details of how these offers work. In order for me to get you the best offer, in other words, the most net for the property, I would just need to pop by for a quick tour, and they require that I get pictures in person. Usually takes 15 to 20 minutes tops, and it's no cost or obligation, so it certainly doesn't hurt for me to at least explore that with you. The other thing I'll mention, since I have you here, is for a lot of folks that we end up representing as a client, what we call our 7-day stress-free home sale system is a better option and will help them net more than some of these. But there's no harm in us at least exploring these. So check them out and let me know if it would make sense for me to pop by, take a quick tour. We can review in more detail, and I can get those photos so we can get you the best offer possible. I haven't recorded one of those all week. I'm sure I could have been better, more efficient, whatever. But that at least gives a quick sort of high-level overview of how I present that. And you got to remember they're FSBO for a reason, right? So it is a low-hanging fruit, but it also is a red ocean. And it's a red ocean for two reasons. Number one, other realtors are after them. And number two, they're creating their own red ocean and can be a little bit sharks themselves, right? So but it's good practice. And if you do enough of it, and actually, so if you view it this way as FSBOs are an opportunity for me to practice my communication and my ability to demonstrate and document value that I can bring to the transaction. It helps you be more efficient and effective when you're reaching out to off-market or using LeadDeck for off-market sellers, or even also with expired listings, etc. And if you get a listing, it's kind of like the cherry on top. That's kind of the approach that I would look at it through. And you can pretty efficiently in most markets get through sellers or for sale by owners in a small window each week, because you're a little bit more densely populated area. So you probably have more than I do, but like my whole county, there's like 13 for sale by owner listings currently.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot. Can you send me that Loom? Or?
Yeah, I'll drop it in the chat.
Great, thank you.
You bet. Anybody else? All right, we're going to finally. Oh, no, Deb has her hand up.
Hey, this is actually, can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, hey guys. So I'm kind of new to the group, so just wanted to say hi, introduce myself. I'm licensed in Maryland and Pennsylvania. And this is for Hank. Hank, I don't know, this is for sale by owner. I don't know if you have listings to leads, but in addition to what you're doing with the cash offers, listings to leads has some great tools that you can offer the for sale by owner, which might entice the seller to list with you. So I don't know, do you know anything about this?
Yeah, in fact, I had it before. I just signed up again last week.
Okay. Well, I'll drop my number in the chat box. If you ever want to talk or need any help, feel free to reach out.
Awesome. Thank
Deb,
you.
have you actually used what they're offering and have direct feedback or engagement from for sale by owners using it?
I haven't done any for sale by owners in a while, but I have used it, and it's just it gives you so many tools. I'm going to start doing it again. It's been a while. I had one that went with me, and to be honest, I haven't been real consistent. I'm going to start doing.
But you say you have a for sale by owner that went with you, and you believe that some of what Listings to Leads is offering was the reason why?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the only reason the only reason that I'm asking these questions is not to put you on trial or anything.
No, it's okay.
I love Listings to Leads. They provide wonderful resources. I also know and this is not a Listings to Leads thing. I also know there is a lot of noise in our world as real estate agents that is hard to decipher. Is this hype or is this truth? And is this marketing that gets us excited, or is this something that actually helps us get more clients? And so I'm sharing that more as an encouragement to you all to make sure that you test and verify actual results before assuming somebody said something and whatever. And I will pick on one specific thing with Listings to Leads. There was a case study that they were hammering about one guy that got one expired listing. And maybe since then he has gotten many more. But one is the loneliest number, because there could have been any number of reasons why that guy got that expired listing that aren't shared or whatever. Like, they might have been on the same travel, whatever, right? So there, a lot of times when we see stories and feedback of things like that, you're not getting the whole picture. So I'm not discouraging anyone from trying or testing anything. I've just seen people waste an inordinate amount of time, energy, and in some cases money on things that were theoretically proven and not working out the way they had hoped.
No, I totally get it. It also depends on your confidence and
totally
how you approach things. So if you're confident, you have all these tools in your back pocket, go in and present it.
100%.
Works best, right?
Your confidence and conviction will be better, not yours, anyone's. Our confidence and conviction in our abilities to deliver the result to the client will be better than any whiz-bang tool thing or whatever, right? The more, like when the conviction that I was talking, when I was communicating the 7-day stress-free home sale, that level of conviction will get clients bought in better than any like cool widget or,
Absolutely.
report
I know,
or
yeah,
whatever.
I
Yeah,
totally get it. There's so many things like your value, right? What do you
totally.
bring?
And
So
also,
I
if
also-
that thing gets you excited, well, then
Yeah.
that ends up being, coming across to them. So like
I think
one
there's a
thing
couple
does
things I
lead
could-
to the
I
other.
can share with Hank that might help, and just another little something, right? Not focus on that completely, because we all go down rabbit holes, right? So with that, and just another thing, my marketing brochure that I got from Scott Pierce recently, that is like a killer. I walk in there and I show them this and they're blown away, right? So there's a lot of different things, and I'm just trying to share what's worked for me, and that has worked for me. And I just closed on a $600,000 house in Maryland in January. So I just want to share a couple things. That's all. But
Yeah, no, listen, and please, Deb, I appreciate that you share. I just am, and I'm, so it's like two sides of the coin, right? I believe if you can get value from anything you invest in, but I've also seen people chase things that were, being marketed by people. And Scott is not one of these people. So I'm not saying this about listings to leads. I'm just saying, generally speaking, I'm trying to give people a framework to just make sure that that you vet things properly before investing a mountain of time or money. And let me give like a very specific example. I would not share those thanks templates and recommend people use them if I hadn't used them and had gotten recurring evidence that they are effective. I've seen people send hundreds or thousands of direct mail pieces because, they allegedly worked, and it was crickets, and it's pretty easy to then, figure out what had happened there. So this was not intended to, I didn't mean for that to come off as negative to anyone. Just my point is, just be careful, because there are lots of people in our space that view us as an easy target to siphon money from. And again, listings to leads is not that. I had somebody, I'll take the opposing view. Somebody recently, this week, I think, asked me for my listings to leads affiliate link, and then was crying the blues at how much it costs a month. And my response was, it's a freaking bargain. I've been saying for years, listings to leads is one of the best values that exists in our business as far as what they provide versus what they're charging. In fact, I may be one of the reasons why he raised the price, because I've been telling people for years, like, this is an absolute steal. And if you're not using them, what are we doing? So it's like, it's $95 a month. That's $1,200 a year. If you don't find some way to use one piece of what's in there to do a transaction a year, like, you're not trying. Because
it's insane. And I'm just, again, let me go back. The things that I've learned in my career, and not hyper focusing on the for sale by owner, but there are bits and pieces in listings to leads that I can put together that I know are helpful.
Yep.
So is it 100%? It's gonna, get you the deal. I don't know. Depends how you present it, but I just wanted to share that.
Yeah. No. Again, I appreciate you sharing and being open and willing. And I didn't mean to, in any way, shape, or form.
And I'm also trying to save time. Everybody wants an easy button.
Yeah.
And if I can help a little bit, I'm all for it. So, yeah.
So now what I need to do is explore some of that myself, because I haven't looked at some of those tools that they've added, and see what's there. Here's the TLDR. Here's the TLDR. Anything that gets you more conversations has value, because there is no getting around the fact that if you want to close more transactions, you have to have more conversations. So anything you can use to increase your conversation rate is worth using and leveraging in every way possible. All right, I get to reset for 7 minutes before I hop on to the next one. So Closers Cafe is back tomorrow morning, or not tomorrow morning, Monday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Prior to that, for those participating in the listing sprint, the action plan and the guides for that day will be released. Then we have the Q&A session at noon on Monday. I'll get back with Stephanie and anybody else. Most of you that are in here and on here with me have my cell phone. If you need help, if you have questions, etc., please don't hesitate to reach out. Have a great weekend, everybody.